Salutations! Surgeon4Rinoa here with one of my old school style of Soapboxing4Rinoas. It's been a while since I did like a... Well, this isn't a top 10. I do have like 10 on my list here. It's in no particular order. It's just as I went down, I was like, okay. Had this list on my mind at the very beginning when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge got announced. And now just recently, we're getting more stuff for Streets of Rage 4. They just announced Max Thunder being playable. You know, the boss fight one with the silver streak. Looks really good. Hope he still keeps the slide kick, but that's the... I think that might be Streets of Rage 2 Max only. Otherwise, they would have shown it. Maybe they did, and I just don't remember it. I just remember a lot of like the backdrop, and then like a bolt of lightning can take out enemies with it. So that was cool. And the wall jump. Anyway, I have a list of old school beat 'em ups that I believe should also make a return, either in remake form, remaster. The first one was great on the NES, very great on the Super NES. Batman Returns, or just a Batman game in general. Just I guess a sequel to that, something like that. I don't know. It could be. You could do it like other adversaries to keep it more fresh, more content. You would have to bring in the combo style like the Arkham games. I'm surprised they haven't done that. I might have seen a 2D Arkham game, but again, I feel like they oversaturated with those, and I kind of fell out by. I was done after the second game. I was like, I don't need to play anymore. Sailor Moon had a few beat 'em ups over arcade and console. You'd think with the new anime that came out a while ago, we were due. And we should definitely get all the Senshi in here. Get the outer Senshi as playable characters as well. But yeah, you could, with big consoles memory stuff now, you could probably do the entire series. Here's a series that's woefully lost in translation because it wasn't directly called a trilogy in the States. Rushing Boot. It suffered a huge blow because it easily got compared to Final Fight, with the first game in the States looking like this. The second game in the States had maze sections added to them for whatever reason, while the Japanese one does not. Thankfully, there's a code to play the non-maze Japanese version on Brawl Brothers. Never played the third game, so I don't know much about that one. But like ArcSys did with Kunio-kun, there could be a re-release remastering. I don't see it getting a new game, though. The series just needs more love so it can break out of that Final Fight comparison mold. Speaking of Final Fight, how is it always the first Final Fight that gets released on just everything and not the other games in the series? 2, 3, Revenge, which was a fighting game, but could be among a series collection with the NES Mighty Final Fight. But yeah, just a Final Fight collection. Elephant in the Room, I get it. It's probably my most viewed Let's Play. Final Fight Streetwise, I think, would be harder to redo. Not impossible, just harder, because the licensing with the music. The scenario, I'm thinking, like, you'd get the game, but 90% of your contract goes bye-bye. Anyway, back to River City Girls for a moment. Spoilers if you haven't played that game yet, and if you haven't, seriously, get on that. It's rare these days I pick up a game that I don't put down until completion. River City Girls is that game. I see you, River City Girls. You cannot expect me to fight Trash, that's his name. And then in the shops, not only Bulova, but the final boss from a Technos boot 'em up called Comba Tribes, and not want that game to happen. Unless you pull like a KOF and Comba Tribes is just part of that universe now and is like going to happen in like the future or something like that. Like, seriously, those cameos got me more hyped than the Bobo boss fight. I adored River City Girls, so the people behind that make a Combat Traps game? Could make a whole bunch of more gangs to fight than the original game's 5. Bikers, clowns, rollerball. Your stadium gang could have a live baseball furies, but due to international copyright, they're not. Still, we could shove the bat up their ass and turn them into meat popsicle like they are the baseball furies, though they're not. Remake and or sequel, please and thank you. 2 games of this on the Super Nintendo, and it also was arcade with the bonus stuff, just a punch machine or whatever you want to call it. Sonic Blast Man. It's time we get a third on that one. Turn that to a trilogy, I guess. I went from DC, now I'm going to go to Marvel. A game that also didn't get a third, Spider-Man and Venom. I guess Marvel's in the big action types now on consoles, so this seems... But then I got to thinking, like, more than Spider-Man and Venom, in the same vein that Shredder's Revenge is obviously a take on the 80s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, I see the trailer, it's like, oh, that's... I'm like, oh, that's Shredder in the purple sash. I'm like, oh, that's 80s. Nice. So it's all just going in. So how about a remake or possibly a sequel, like, to X-Men? Now that's... The callbacks and references alone would help that game sell. And now you get more characters, bosses, locations, all based on that 80s comic style, that 89 Pride of the X-Men episode. If Streets of Rage 4 is anything to go by, maybe the people behind that could handle a new Golden Axe? Sega's other big beat-em-up. Or if you really want to get fancy with it, Comic Zone. Speaking of high fantasy combat, back to Golden Axe for a bit. Maybe a new Dungeons & Dragons style beat-em-up? Imagine how much worlds you can pull from that. Probably had to spend years pouring through that stuff. Might be the same for a Dragon's Crown 2 if Vanillaware's up to that. And I may be in the minority on wanting this, but Bayou Billy / Mad City remake? Seems the least likely cause if Konami remembers it existing. I would be surprised if it was just another of their games getting the patch-a-slot treatment if they remember it, the game existing. So yeah, it's just a couple of ideas for beat-em-ups I'd like to see return. I know the only problem with beat-em-ups now is that thing where they like, okay, you boot me up a bit, I'm a boss, and now I'm going to do my, I go into my invincibility frames and do a thing, and you just got to wait it out and then pummel me again. Some games handle it better than others. I think Streets of Rage 4 handled it the best. The worst I can probably think of was, Vitas 99 or 99 Vitas, whatever. I think it's the 99 comes first. But that's going to do for this episode of Soapboxing4Rinoa. Any beat-em-ups I might have missed? Any beat-em-ups you might want to see yourself? Get the remaster reboot stick boot on them? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, take care and thanks for watching.